Hey there folks, my name is Peter, and on today's video we are going to tackle part 2 of our custom wedding guest book. If you haven't already watched part 1, you're going to want to do that first. If you're not interested in watching, you want me to give you a quick overview. Basically, my fiance found these custom wedding guest books where instead of signing a book, you sign a heart, right? So it would look something like this, and then you drop that heart into something like this. And it's a unique way to have a guest book at your wedding, and then after the wedding, you can hang it in your home as a piece of decor. Most of part 1 was dedicated to cutting out this piece of acrylic in a perfect circle so that it would sit on top of this piece of wood. I picked up this piece from Hobby Lobby for $21. Thought it was a great deal, already came in a perfect circle. I used a flush trim router bit to cut out the acrylic. I've never, ever been happier with a cut, a circular cut, as I was or still am with this piece of acrylic. So to finish this project, we have a couple things to do. One, we have to adhere the acrylic to the underlying board. Now you could just glue it on, and I think in most of the videos that's what I'm seeing. What I don't like about that is after the wedding, when we want to go back and glue in all of these hearts so that we can hang it in the home, I need to be able to remove the acrylic pretty easily. So I've got some threaded inserts here. I picked up 165 threaded inserts on Amazon. I'll have a link in the description below if you're interested. I want to say this was like $10 or $15. And then to connect them, I bought a 1,305 piece socket head set on Amazon. This was more expensive. I want to say this was about 30 bucks. My plan is to paint the head itself gold. I'm going to spray paint it. I don't have any gold spray paint here with me today, but I could do that later. And that way I'll have basically, I think I'm gonna probably put 3 screws in here to attach it, and then I'll be able to remove those after the wedding. I'll probably glue the hearts to the piece itself, and then it'll serve as a form of decor. So I've been practicing with the threaded inserts on a different piece of scrap plywood because you really only get one opportunity here. This is a custom piece and I don't want to ruin it. So I'm going to try my best. Before I install the threaded inserts, I am going to do a little bit of painting because I want to let this stuff dry. So this board will have this letter F on it, and this will be in the middle of the guest book. So this is going to be black, this is going to be gold. I'm going to get those painted, let them dry, and then we'll get to working on the threaded inserts. And then hopefully by the end of this project, this will be dry and we can try this out and see how it works. So if that sounds like something that's of interest to you, and you're also into EDC tools and other DIY type projects, be sure to subscribe to this channel. I think you'll really enjoy it. So as I mentioned in the last video, I'm not a painter. This is not one of my specialties. I'm hoping to improve at it. My mother is my expert painter, so she is the professional that I referred to in the previous video that will help me with the final touches. Painting complete, and again, more paint on my fingers than is on the pieces of wood, but we're gonna be okay with it. So this piece of wood that I bought came with a hook to use as a hanger, and I don't wanna lose that. So I am just going to tape this down, because as I'm drilling these holes, I don't want my acrylic to move on me. And my plan is to put 1 screw here, 1 screw here, and 1 screw at the bottom. I may also have to do 2 screws at the top, but we will see. So I want the fasteners that are on the side to be in the center of this board, which should be 11.8. Basically, I'm going to call it 11 3/4. Here goes nothing. So far so good. I'm not noticing any splitting on the wood. Let's try and drill the other 2. Whew, that was stressful. Now we'll switch to our bigger drill bit to drill out these holes a little bit further. Okay, that looked to be successful, but the real test is, can we get our threaded insert in there? So this is a number 4 short arm Allen key. Come on, buddy. Okay. A little bit of splitting, but overall looks like it's going to work. Let's get the other two set up. Okay, I'll tell you what, this is nerve-wracking. So if we line up our holes now, I may wind up needing a washer, but we'll see. My goal is to avoid a washer. I don't want you to really see that many fasteners, and again, I can always add a washer once it's hanging on the wall at the house, but for like the day of the wedding, my preference would be not to have one. But it's just going to depend on whether or not we can get a positive grab without one. Don't crack on me, brother. Threaded inserts are in the wood, screws fit, acrylic is able to stay in place. Now what we're going to do is cut a coin slot in which people will be able to drop the hearts. My original idea was that I was going to take out like a whole big chunk here, but if I give people a lot of room with which to drop the hearts will start to stack horizontally on one another, and I only really want them to stack vertically. Now, if you drop a heart and it's flush with the back of the board, we should be able to stack vertically because gravity will be working in our favor. Of course, once we get this on the wall and gravity is no longer working in our favor and everything just wants to fall down, that's okay because we're going to glue them. So for now, it's just, let's get a coin slot drilled or cut, or I don't really know exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but that's basically the last piece of the project. And then of course we have some additional painting to work on, but if we can get that done, I will feel super, super good about where we're at. One other thing that changed from the first video to now is that I actually got brand new hearts. So if you recall, in the first video I had 2 heart options. I had this heart, which was 2.65 inches. This was too big. I had these hearts, which were 2 inches. These seem too small. But these puppies, 2.4 inches, perfect sweet spot. So let's get one of these out of here so we can use it as our guide for the width. All right, and just sort of to demonstrate for you what I'm talking about in terms of folks dropping the stuff in. So at the wedding, right, this will be on like an easel, so it'll be tilted back slightly. And if they drop them here, right, it does more or less what we wanted to do, which is these things will stack vertically, they'll sort of find their level, right, like that. But if you just get it like this, right, and someone doesn't drop it flush, right, if there's some distance, well, in that case it fell off because there's no acrylic, but with the acrylic it just would have been stacked on top of that one. So I want to prevent an invalid state when folks are dropping these in, and only allow you to drop it so that it will have the effect that I'm looking for. So what I could do is just drill 2 holes, get out either the multi-tool or the jigsaw, or maybe even the Dremel actually in this case, and just cut that out. Because see, this is basically just cardboard, and then it has this little piece of veneer over it, so definitely making a mess. All right, folks, so I had to finish this project off camera because I was having some technical difficulties. Where we left off, you saw me, I was cutting out the little coin slot. That was successful. I don't think it looks as good as it could possibly look. If I had to do this all over again, I might try a slightly different approach. But in general, I'm okay with it. You're not really gonna see it. And I was able to get in there with my small file and clean it up pretty good. So painted the hearts. So the hearts are black, and then you can see I had some family members write just to sort of test on something like this with our gold marker. I think it offers a great bit of contrast. And then of course, once you drop it in, they do stack vertically as long as this piece is on a good enough angle where gravity's not working against us. For now, I just have it propped up. It's a bit of movie magic. Some Pellegrino cans that you can't see, but the real thing will be on an easel. And, you know, as you're dropping them in, you know, they fall into place. You can start to see them start to stack here. You will get some horizontal stacking. I mean, you're not going to get zero, but I think most of what you'll get is the vertical stacking that we're looking for. And then, of course, again, after the wetting, we'll take off the acrylic, we'll paint, or we'll glue all of the hearts down, and it'll serve as a nice piece of art in the home. The acrylic may look a little foggy to you in the video, I'm not really sure, but that's just because it has the plastic film over it still. My plan or goal is not to take that off for quite some time. And then the piece with the F in the top part of the video over here. Originally my thinking was that that was going to go in the center, but when you put it in the center, the hearts stack on top of it, and then eventually when they topple, they stack horizontally. So we moved it off to the side just to give the hearts a straight path downward, which I think works a lot better. You can sort of see we're like halfway up right now. I only painted, I think, 25 of the hearts. I have 50, and then I'll order another 50. Oops. So this should hold the 100 hearts. And honestly, I'm really, really excited. I realized that, you know, this was not a one-day build. This took me a long time. But again, the goal is to learn, the goal is to get better, and the goal is just to build cool stuff. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.